BCG, or the Boston Consulting Group, is a hot destination for career seekers every year. In fact, BCG, for a small, tiny, limited number of folks, has over 600,000 applications, and they only bring on a few thousand people every single year to an organization that, small by consulting standards, is only about 30,000 people internationally. BCG is one of the top 3 consulting firms considered in the most elite ranks with McKinsey and Bain, and therefore it's one of the best places to work on the planet. There are accolades to show it. But still, you may be thinking about BCG versus other top 3 firms, or BCG versus other careers, or BCG versus multiple other firms that you're talking to. And it's important for you to know what some of the reasons are to work for BCG and what some of the reasons are not to. In this episode, we'll give 6 reasons to work for BCG. And if we're honest, we're kind of in favor of the firm, but there are 4 valid reasons not to, and we'll share those as well. The number 1 reason to work for BCG is its cutting-edge reputation for creativity. BCG, out of the top 3 firms, is known to be the most innovative and creative organization, and there are practice areas and even individual orgs inside BCG that demonstrate their commitment to being on the front end of ideas. Right now, what does that look like? Well, it's digital practices, AI, and other transformation organizations that really focused on next level insights for the corporation of the future. The second reason you want to work for BCG is that they have the nicest people. And coming from another firm in the top 3, I can say this unequivocally. BCG people are the nicest in the industry. Because of this, there's a collegial culture, a sense of I have a lot of people around me who are kind and helpful and like-minded, and support that many of you are looking for in a world-class way. Number 3, BCG always leads the pack with generous compensation and benefits. It's hard to find a firm that will ever beat out BCG when it comes to comp, and we put together an active salary report every year to compare firms on this all-important metric. Number 4, BCG has a blended, flexible regional staffing model. What does that even mean? Well, BCG focuses on having folks centered in an office, but also able to flexibly work on a region. And there are transfers available, so you can work on either projects or permanent placements overseas. Number 5, BCG builds world-class professional development. They don't borrow it from anywhere. It comes from within. BCG is known as an academic firm, intellectually rigorous, and many PhDs, when they weren't hired broadly across the industry, were first hired on at BCG. There's an honor and an understanding for the value of great human capital training, and you'll get that in your career at BCG. Last, but certainly not least, if you ever do decide to leave BCG, which to be honest, a lot of people decide to stay, they've created an amazing culture, they build you, and they move you on through the ranks. But if you do decide to leave, you'll have amazing exit opportunities. BCG is a world-class brand, and because of that, you can't just work in your city or an industry that you've worked in before. There are BCG alums all over the world who would be honored to have you on their team. In just a second, I'll share some of the reasons why you might not want to work for BCG. And these aren't fluffy reasons. These are real, tangible reasons why people have chosen to move to a different firm or stay out of the consulting industry entirely. But before we go there, I just wanted to have a quick note. Some of our coaches are from BCG, and you can work with them one-on-one to prep for your consulting interview through Black Belt, or you can actually work with them one-on-one in the Strategy Sprint program, where you can get a taste of what life is like at BCG, where they're your project leader and you're assigned to them on a case. But what you've probably been waiting for are some of the secret reasons why you might not want to work for BCG. Let me walk through them now. First, out of the top 3 firms, BCG has a rigorous up or out culture. Its academic nature means that the evaluations are world-class. But what that leads to is a sense of understanding that even though you're working with nice people, they have to run fast. And that up or out culture creates a sense of competition that some people don't like and is one of the primary stated reasons why people choose to leave BCG. Second, I mentioned already that BCG is known as an intellectual or an academically rigorous environment. Some people left school for a reason, and they don't want to go into an environment that feels academic and sometimes what has been referred to as stuffy. Even though you'll probably find great training at BCG, if that's not you, it might not be the place for you forever. Number 3, you can get very lost inside a large firm. There are boutique firms that have 10 to 100 people, unreal organizations that have powerful value propositions across the industry. But BCG, it's a large firm, and some people feel like they're a part of a system, a cog in a wheel, and it's hard to feel like you have the collegial environment that you might want. So many people who leave to build their own practices cite the size of BCG as one of the reasons why they do that. Finally, there's work-life imbalance. One of the reasons that people decide to leave BCG is that you're working with nice people. And because of that, you don't want to leave your team in a lurch. So you work hard, you work fast, and you work long hours. That time at BCG isn't for everyone, and it isn't for everyone in every season of life. As you move up through the ranks in BCG, you build an understanding of who you are, what you bring to the table, and generally a better knowledge of the job. So the work-life balance does improve over time. But for some people, they don't want to wait for that moment to happen. So work-life balance at BCG could be a challenge for you. And if that matters to you, you might not want to opt into BCG, but rather opt out to go somewhere else. There are real reasons both to go to BCG and not to. But if you have your heart set on one of the top firms, just know this is one of the most competitive recruiting processes on the planet. Even Harvard Business School doesn't light a candle to the difficulty of breaking into the top 3 firms. We would love to help you on your journey. If you want to work with us to prepare for the case interview, to build the best resume for BCG, or just to understand a strategy for how to break in, we would super duper love to help you. You can find the link to how to do that in our show notes. And of course, if you want great future content from us, then please make sure that you're subscribed to our channel, opted into our email list, and follow along with us on all social channels. Thanks so much for joining.